It's time to separate fact from fiction. What do we know about Hogwarts Legacy? Welcome back, people. Okay, a bit of a change around the area. A new jiggle my lighting, spun this round, some fun things like that. Reinventing logos and intros and stuff, which I hope you enjoyed. It's very brief, but don't want to make them too long. Well, it seems like we're back at the beginning, a bit like when Wizards Unite was coming soon, DM. Also, with the Wild Theories videos going out there, let's time to reseat ourselves and see where we actually are in terms of Hogwarts Legacy. So we go back to basics with the trailer we had launched 10 years ago. And we're going to go through that trailer again and a little bit of the blurb we actually know. And then we're going to go from there, and then we're going to start walking off into the realms of fantasy and try to extrapolate what we can see and what we might be getting. Also, if you're a real geek like me, typical Ravenclaw style, I've been digging into HP canon and lexicons and stuff like that, and establishing timelines around the 1800s. So if you want to know who was born around about the time we're playing our game, stay tuned to find out. So what do we know from the official site? This is what the official site says. Hogwarts Legacy is an immersive open-world action RPG set in a world first introduced in the Harry Potter books. Now you can take control of the action and be at the centre of your own adventure in the Wizarding World. Embark on a journey through familiar and new locations as you explore and discover fantastic beasts. Customise your character and craft potions. Master spellcasting, upgrade talents, and become the wizard you want to be. I want to be a rich wizard. Experience Hogwarts in the 1800s. Your character is a student who holds the key to an ancient secret that threatens to tear the wizarding world apart. You have received a late acceptance to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and soon discover that you are no ordinary student. You possess an unusual ability to perceive and master ancient magic. Only you can decide if you will protect this secret for the good of all, or yield to the temptation of more sinister magic. Discover the feeling of living at Hogwarts as you make allies, battle dark wizards, and ultimately decide the fate of the wizarding world. Your legacy is what you make of it. I can feel a number of playthroughs coming through with different outcomes. There's also a little FAQ on the site as well. One describes the game as Hogwarts Legacy is an immersive open-world action role-playing game that's set in the 1800s Wizarding World, which puts players at the centre of their own adventure. So what kind of game is this? So looking at the FAQ, the game described as an open-world role-playing game. Open-world games essentially mean you just wander around freely. You're not kind of railroaded down various levels or whatever. In the context of the Wizarding World, you should be able to roam from Hagrid's hut, say, right up to the Great Hall, chill out by the lake, watch the giant squid. A role-playing game just simply means you assume the role of a fictional character, which is pretty much like every game, really. So essentially, you're going to be going to Hogwarts in the 1800s, free to roam the grounds and school. But also, there'll be a main sort of storyline element to it, and you could quite possibly see subquests as you come across other NPCs. Maybe someone's being bullied or something, and you can intervene. So help someone with their herbology homework. So what's the story? Well, we get a glimpse of what sets the story apart from the average wizard in the blurb on the main website. For one, we receive our letter late. I have no idea why it was late, but I assume the book and quill of acceptance may not have been around at this point. I'm pretty sure it would have been. So also, the plot kind of implies that the tasks we'll be involved in are, as we say, well beyond the talents of a fourth year.
Magic way beyond the talents of a fourth year.
Can't resist popping that one in there. We'll also be able to perceive and master ancient magic. Now, where have we heard that before? You would be protected by an ancient magic, of which he knows, of which he despises, and which he has always therefore underestimated. To his cost. I am speaking, of course, of the fact that your mother died to save you. She gave you a lingering protection he never expected, a protection that flows in your veins to this day. I put my trust, therefore, in your mother's blood. I delivered you to her sister, her only remaining relative. That's Dumbledore from Order of the Phoenix, chapter 37. Another example of ancient magic is also the Veil. Some believe it to be a product of the Percival family, but a lot of these ancient things are shrouded in mystery, kind of like Dark Ages. We don't really know what the heck was going on back then. This is, of course, extraordinarily handy if you want to make a game set in the 1800s, based upon ancient magic that no one knows anything about. So you can make your own thing up. So this leaves the developers of the game a wide scope to add new magic to canon. Well, it's canon. So, some stuff to go on, not a lot, very vague. So let's go and look at the trailer.
Magic, both beautiful and powerful, binds together our long history. That common bond we share is the legacy of Hogwarts. Now it is time to add your own story to these hallowed halls and quite possibly shape the future of the wizarding world. Every corridor, every portrait, every stone in this castle tells the story of witches and wizards who came before. Here you will meet lifelong friends and grow into your own magical abilities in the classrooms of the world's most talented professors. And while your journey begins at Hogwarts, brewing potions, taming fantastic beasts, and mastering spells, there is a larger world beyond these walls. A world filled with dangers you can't yet imagine. An ancient knowledge long gone from this world. That strange and mysterious talent you possess may be the key to unlocking this dormant power. Your potential is limitless. But what form will it take? The journey ahead will reveal what you stand for. The choices you make now will define the legacy of Hogwarts.
A great 2 minutes, I agree. Right, now we're going to break it down a little bit here.
Magic, both beautiful and powerful, binds together our long history. That common bond we...
So we arrive by flying stagecoach. Feels a little bit like Fantastic Beasts 2, except that stagecoach had thestrals. This one, well, it might have thestrals. We just can't see them. Do you think about that? If you want to know the kind of like the where this stagecoach fits in with the Fantastic Beasts 2 stagecoach, well, suffice to say that Grindelwald is born in the 1800s, late 1800s. So it's kind of roughly right.
Share is the legacy of Hogwarts. Now it is
The late 1800s. The Hogwarts Express was introduced in 1830, according to HP Lexicon. So as well as the acceptance possibly being late, like in terms of how old we are in terms of years, it's also not at the beginning of term. We didn't just turn up at the start of term, otherwise we would have got the Hogwarts Express, which unfortunately kind of sucks, because I would like to go on a Hogwarts Express as an intro, but there you go. As a bit of background to the 1800s, Albus Dumbledore isn't born until 1881, and Grindelwald is expelled from Durmstrang in 1899. So it gives you a rough idea of when Dumbledore and Grindelwald attended Hogwarts. So depending on how late in the 1800s we're talking, we could well be at Hogwarts with Dumbledore.
time to add your own story to these hallowed halls and quite possibly shape the future of the wizarding world. Every corridor,
The Great Hall is looking, well, great.
every portrait, every stone in...
What on earth is going on with the stairs? We know they move. Or do they? The ones in the movie, of course, moved around a lot. But when you look at the book, in book 6, a swiveling staircase is mentioned. That's just one staircase, though. In book 1, it says some that led somewhere different on a Friday. So this could be a new adaptation or something unique to our story.
This castle tells the story.
Flying books, totally normal.
Witches and wizards who came before.
Sort me! Okay, I totally want to go through this sort of experience. We had it a little bit with Hogwarts Mystery. Yeah, but that was a bit dry. So this is a lot better. No idea whether we get a choice. I imagine we could get a choice because it's a lot easier. If you want to match your Wizarding World passport thing, you can. If you want to go something different, you can. That's kind of cool. Like, a good idea.
Here you will meet lifelong friends and grow into your own magic.
Quidditch! Yes, given they've recently teamed up with Sumo Digital, who've done racing games, like Forza Horizon, I think was one of them. Cool. It looks like we actually may have proper Quidditch. I think we will, because late Harry Potter games kind of had Quidditch in them. Not really well done. What would be cool is if you could do Quidditch, if you could say, for example, be in your house, and then pick another house, and then you could be in some sort of lobby system, and you get teamed up with random players, and you can all play Quidditch online at the same time against each other. That would be so cool.
Magical abilities in the classrooms of the world's most talented professors.
Oh, potions master and herbology teacher right here. We don't know the names. You could probably work it out. You could probably look at various articles and try and theorize things, but let's just say they're unnamed.
And while your journey begins at Hogwarts, brewing potions, taming fantastic beasts, and
I'm curious as to where this actually is. Is it someone's office? Is it Merrythor's office? Because they had a big office, right? Slughorn had it. And then, yeah, it's a bit too sparse to be a common room. There's not enough chairs and seats and stuff and around. So I think it is someone's office. Maybe some sort of elite club. Not the Slug Club, because that's not around at this point.
mystery spells. There is a larger world.
Here we see Hogsmeade. This has me curious. So this is an open world experience, which means technically you can kind of go where you like. However, students can only go to Hogsmeade at certain times, even later on in the year. So interesting to see how this one goes. I wonder if this is one of the reasons why you're set further into your years at Hogwarts, so you can actually go to Hogsmeade rather than just not be stuck at the school.
Beyond these walls.
Hippogriff! Yeah, I can't see the castle. I can see a bunch of ruins. Maybe it's nearby, or maybe this is kind of like one massive quest thing. We go away into these new areas never seen before in Wizarding World. Curious to find out.
A world
Inferious! A little bit of background. I will refer to Dumbledore's expertise. They are corpses. Dead bodies have been bewitched to do a dark wizard's bidding. Inferi have not been seen for a long time, however. Not since Voldemort was last powerful. He killed enough people to make an army of them, of course. So these are a potential enemy. Obviously, this is before Voldemort's time, depending on where we are in the 1800s. It's a huge time period. It is possibly young Grindelwald's time. But yeah, definitely Voldemort's time. But yes, obviously, they've been around for before Voldemort, right? So potential, well, it's going to be an enemy, right? It's not going to be a friend.
filled with dangers you can't yet imagine.
Dementors! I can't place the location as a beam of light, so it seems to be up above ground. Yep, must be a new mysterious location.
An ancient knowledge long gone from this world. That strange and mysterious talent you possess may be the key to unlocking this dormant power.
Okay, there's a lot to see in this kind of small snippet, but many puzzles to be solved, and so it seems we have a connection to our beastie friend. I think it was young Voldemort that had, or Tom Riddle, basically, that had the ability to make animals do things, if I can remember correctly.
Your potential.
Troll in the dungeon! But there are many chains, so it seems to be a place built for hiding trolls? Must be another one of these secret locations.
Is limitless. But what form will...
This chap doesn't look like he's on our side. So I think this is our Voldemort equivalent, or Grindelwald equivalent of our ultimate bad guy.
it take? The journey ahead
And a fight to the death. Or your last save point.
will reveal what you
Dragons, baby! Okay.
stand for. The choices you make now will define the legacy of Hogwarts.
Okay, so read up the story a little bit. So we have some strange powers. There's a weird ancient magic, and there are bad people. So that's pretty cool. Let's keep us busy. We can perceive and master ancient magic, and we hold the key to an ancient secret that threatens to tear the wizarding world apart. I'm guessing the masked up dude is up to something. Could be the old let's break the statute of secrecy thing again. Well, it was founded way back in 1692, so statute of secrecy is here at this point in time. So it could be, again, statute of secrecy. Although, given there's a whole deal around ancient magic, they probably just want to take over the world, a bit like Moldy Foldy. So we can work out, why has nobody else discovered this stuff before? Well, I assume our natural gift allows us to see things that should remain hidden behind possibly some lost ancient magic. And so we are, the unchosen ones who have to clear up the mess. But what fun we'll have in the process. With the books, Harry's adventures sort of come and go throughout the year while he attends the school. So he'll study, and then all of a sudden something will happen, and then he'll study again. And then something will happen, or something will happen like Quidditch, or da-da-da-da. And it's kind of interdispersed within the natural life of going to Hogwarts. The narrator says we all meet lifelong friends, grow into our magic abilities, and goes on to say while we study there's a larger world beyond the walls. So it looks like it kind of matches the books. It looks like we'll be basically starting off with ordinary life at Hogwarts as we arrive, and then things will start to happen to us, and then it's interdispersed throughout the life of the going to Hogwarts, basically. This is kind of personally great for me, as I don't want it just to be all guns blazing action all the way through. Kind of want to, be part of the world, not just running through it and blowing it up. So it'd be nice to be part of Hogwarts. This is kind of suggested through the way that the narrator says we make friends and so again, the narrator suggests our strange and mysterious talent may be the key to unlock this mysterious power. Perhaps we do unlock it and then the bad guys turn up. Or maybe they were waiting for a chosen one to come along and unlock it in the first place. So, it'll be interesting to find out. Let's say the 1800s are roughly from 1870 onwards. Let's have a look at the timeline and see if we can find anything interesting. Well, in 1873, Chatterley Cannons wins the 1873 League Cup. In 1875, gripping charms are discovered, revolutionising the design of the quaffle. So, that's interesting. Now, this is an interesting one. In 1876, the Hogwarts caretaker ran Curious Carp. He set a trap for Peeves with various weaponry that he might enjoy, hoping to lure him and then drop a large bell jar over him. Wait a minute. That's some Wizards Unite. But Peeves breaks the jar and escapes, armed with several cutlasses, crossbows, and blunderbuss, and a miniature cannon. In 1877, we actually have a Quidditch World Cup. So that'd be quite interesting if that turns up. In 1878, the Quidditch World Cup 1878 tournament was staged as a replacement for the missing tournament that no one remembers of 1877. They could slot that one in quite nicely, I think. 1879, the Oak Shaft 79 broom is introduced. 1881, August, Albus Dumbledore is born. In 1883, the hoops replaced the baskets in Quidditch. So I imagine if we could do Quidditch, we're going to have the hoops. So it's going to be set after 1883. That's an interesting thought. In 1844, a snitch escapes during a Quidditch game. A golden snitch allegedly evades capture by either team's seeker during a game on Bodmin Moor in 1884. Some say it's still out there somewhere, living wild on the moor. In 1884, June, stooging is outlawed. So the Department of Magical Games and Sports introduces a new rule that only one chaser at a time may be within the scoring area. This new rule provokes a strong response from fans who loved seeing opposing keepers roughed up. The ministry representatives announced the rule this way. 1891, Ariana Dumbledore is attacked by Muggle boys. Again, 1891, Percival Dumbledore seeks revenge on Ariana's attackers and is imprisoned for it. 1892, Albus Dumbledore starts at Hogwarts, so we could be seeing Dumbledore, young Dumbledore. In 1892, Makusa is relocated from Washington to New York. 1894, shooting arrows to celebrate an Appleby Arrows goal is banned. Gee, I wonder why. Oh, apparently Nugent Potts, a referee, is pierced through the nose by an arrow. Ouchie. Oh, interesting. 1895, Glacier Merrythought starts teaching at Hogwarts, teaching Defense Against the Dark Arts. 1899, Albus Dumbledore sits his newts. And again, 1899, Ariana accidentally kills her mother. And again, 1899, Grindelwald is expelled from Durmstrang. And then we move into the 1900s, which is not the 1800s. So that is a summary of kind of what's going on in the timeline of the canon we have. Obviously, these dates are here and there. Hopefully they are correct. So we look a little bit at the trailer. So, is the trailer just a mock-up? Well, yes. There are no controls, and the movements are very fluid, and the camera is very fluid. You can imagine playing a game from those sort of angles. I believe it's not like Hogwarts Mystery, though, where the trailer is in no way representative of the actual game. I mean, that was just a totally different thing. But looking back at the old leaked gameplay videos, if you want us to try and cover those again, let me know in the comments below. So footage does seem to match the quality of the trailer. The people look very similar, and the style is exactly the same. So I believe the trailer is probably used using the same graphics engine and assets as the actual game itself. So the game will not be far off. Of course, depending on your hardware if you're using a PC, or PS4, or PS5. So now what's going on right now as we talk? Because it's been a while ago. Well, the new community manager has been appointed, Chandler Wood. Now his favourite character from the Wizarding World is Sirius Black, because of his obviously depth of personality. I have to kind of agree with him on that one. And his favourite animal is a Thestral. Obviously, they're quite an intriguing animal because you can only see them if you've seen Death. I also wonder if it's a subtle clue to the fact that that carriage is being pulled by Thestrals. I don't think so. So, having a community manager is pretty cool. So he's starting to get himself established. The official Discord for Hogwarts Legacy, he is part of that. So there's a link to that Discord down below if you want to join and join in the conversation. It is a huge Discord. So yeah, but he's on there. Now we know there is a new trailer. And it was pulled last minute from the Game Awards because WB Games were too scared to do it because they thought the backlash from J.K. Rowling and her weirdness. But luckily for us, WB, the movies, were not scared to release the trailer a couple of days later for the film of Fantastic Beasts number 3. So, that did not get massive backlash, I don't believe. Hard to tell with social media these days because it just shows you what we want to see. But all seemed quite good on that front. And also rumours again from the people who kind of leak stuff at, and actually Chandler himself at Avalanche Games, WB Avalanche, their Twitter as well, are saying that it's going to be very soon. So we've gone from soon to very soon. This was good. And it's definitely coming out in 2022. As for when the actual darn game's going to come out, April has been knocked around a fair amount of times on leak land, and given that they are still taking on development studios, I'd say April is a very early estimate. So maybe summertime. I really hope it's worth the wait. It looks stunning, and to be honest, in the world of Harry Potter games, it's a pretty low bar. So I don't think they will find it too hard to get past it. Now, if you're looking for things to do between now and then, with Wizarding Night gone, it seems that Magic Awakened will be coming over early quarter 2021. So January, February time. So that also goes on your mobile. I think it's on Nintendo Switch as well. So if you want something to tide you over in the meantime, that game is coming out. And that has a very nice artistic style, kind of cartoon style. That'll be a coming video, which we'll deep dive into that one. That will take a lot of research because the game is already out in Asia. So there's a lot of stuff to go through for that one. So if you're interested in that, and obviously Hogwarts Legacy news, without too much theorizing and no clickbait, we won't go sensational and when it's just something silly. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for this channel, Also Twitter @thezillman if you want to catch up on my tweets and stuff. I will be kind of retweet. I've got like a feed wall of Twitter stuff which I can retweet, and obviously any news as and when it happens, unless I'm asleep, will come out on there. So don't forget to hone your potion skills, practice your wand waving, because soon it's time for Hogwarts Legacy.